unfunnable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Price go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Jeeps can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion!
You don't know the power.
The math is unfunnable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to our official live stream coming to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We talk about everything in the EMP ecosystem, and man, today is an unbelievable day. We are so back. We have tons to go over. The vaults reboot, and man, is the market on fire. ETH up like 20% in one day. Bitcoin back over 100K, pushing 105K. Again, it all happens quicker than we all anticipate, and here we are. So we'll talk about all that, but before we get into it, please help me welcome my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
What's up, Emperors? We are so back. Market's flying. Everyone's happy. I sure am.
Yeah, 100% LA. It's been quite the 24 hours for sure. So, all right, before we jump in, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us get the word out, get more eyeballs on EMP, and help us grow our footprint. So please make sure to do that before we kick things off. And yeah, I mean, again, we were just saying the other day how this can happen, where the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, it all takes over. Everybody's saying, bear market, Ethan, is underperforming everything. And all of that was true, but it only takes 24 hours for things to turn around. And, we see that today. I mean, again, the manipulation, the artificial suppression of ETH. I mean, ETH will and always will be, is and always will be what I like to call digital oil of crypto, where all the big guys are building and have liquidity on Ethereum. And yes, layer 2s and Solana or Sui or all these other up and coming chains definitely take market share, but no $100 million hedge fund is going to be putting millions and potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in assets on any other chain but Ethereum, because Bitcoin is too slow, and anything in terms of decentralized finance will and is on Ethereum. So we see that recovering now. even in our own chats, we saw a lot of, you know, disappointment and FUD over the last few days, and it only takes, one little spark to reboot all of this. So again, congrats to all of you that don't get flooded out of your own bags, and I really do think this is the beginning of the real bull run. Again, we're not out of the woods yet. We may definitely see a retracement, but I don't think we'll ever see Bitcoin or ETH, below 75K or the 1500 ETH that we saw ever again. So all that is amazing news moving forward, and will help all of us really start getting the flywheel going again. So we'll talk a lot about the vaults today as well. But before we get into that, LA, do you just want to any comments on overall
Yeah.
sentiment and where we're at right now? For sure.
Yeah, well, what was hilarious was in our VIP chat, there was a whole bunch of the VIPs talking about how shit Ethereum is
Yes.
and how they wish we were pegged to something else. And then literally less than 24 hours later, ETH is up by like 18 to 20%, and it's up a higher percentage than any other of the top 100 tokens. So
For sure.
it's pretty amazing. And they're all just like, oh, maybe we need to talk bad about it more often. It'll make it fly.
Yes, I love that. I saw the reverse Kramer indicator. Jim Kramer, the infamous stock predictor. Anything he says, you do the opposite. So yeah, that's what was happening in our VIP for sure.
And don't
So
forget that has such a positive impact on EMP. EMP is up 15-16% in the last 6 hours as well. We're really flying up with Ethereum.
yeah, absolutely. Again, it's all coming together. Like we said all along, we definitely hit a bump in the road with the, DexFi hacks, but, was never down and out. We were never at risk of, closing shop. And those that just have the long-term time horizon and can be patient for the real bull run to happen, will be just fine. So, a lot of people still want to sell at these levels, but, again, you're getting killed with price impact, and you're shooting yourself in the foot because a few months from now we could be at peg or sooner. So again, it's all coming together, and we'll talk more about that at the end. I'm sure there's some questions, but I want to talk about the really bullish news first and foremost. So la, if you don't mind, can you just go through a bit of the vaults
Mhm.
announcement, and then I'll share my screen as you go. So
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our super exciting news of the day. The vaults have officially relaunched. So we're so happy to announce that the rebooted vaults are now live for everyone on both Base and Sonic, with more chains to come. We've received initial findings from our audit provided by Zelic, and we're fully confident in the new security features of the contracts, which we will go over again tonight. The official audit report for both Solidity contracts and OPSEC review will be published so that everyone can see them. Additionally, we'll be undergoing a crowdsourced white hat review from Code Forena. I don't know if I'm saying that right, AJ.
yeah, code for arena. Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
As well as to further verify the security. So we're really beefing up the security, and we're also getting a lot of well-known and respected parties to check it out for us. As this is a full reboot, all funds will need to be migrated from the old contracts and redeposited into the new SAFU contracts. There is a new main app, which I will put the link in the comments. This is what we'll use. But if you still need to withdraw, you will use this one that I'm putting second. So if you have any funds left in the old one, you'll have to withdraw them and then redeposit into the new site. As Base and Sonic are our most profitable chains, this is where our focus will be in the near future. We've ported over most of the most popular farms and will continue to add the remaining farms from these chains in the coming days. If you don't see a farm that was previously offered, please add it to our farm voting system. and we'll make sure to put a priority on it. One question I hope you can go over, AJ, is what happens if they have funds in the old contracts but on chains that are not Sonic or Base? What should they do in that circumstance?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, I can jump right into that first. You will go and you'll do an emergency withdrawal. Now, again, if you were affected with the hack, it might not be that much there because everything was drained. But you can go to the legacy app. Again, my URLs are going to be different. This is the dev one. But yeah, what LA posted, the legacy, and we'll put this on our socials too. But the legacy.dexfi, that will show all the chains, and then you'll go to, I'll just show you an example. Hang on. So say you had money in this, you would go to withdraw, and you would do an emergency withdrawal, which hopefully it'll show. Yep. Okay, perfect. So withdraw and then that little drop down and then scroll to the bottom and you see emergency. That will allow you to withdraw everything that you do have left. So, and if you were in a private vault, then it shouldn't have been affected either. So you probably still do have some funds to do that with. So you just withdraw from the legacy vaults and deposit into these new vaults. And the way that you can tell you're on the right site is that there's only Sonic and Base available. So the old site, let me go back. Oh, all right. So the old site would have all 8 chains. Oh, hang on. Sorry about this. Good Lord, I can't do it today. There we go. So the old site will have all 8 chains across the top here. And then you can just find where you are by going to my positions. So does that help, LA?
Yes, awesome. And if you guys need access to these links after the AMA, or if you're watching the recording, they're all contained in the pinned announcement that AJ made yesterday, and that's found in all of our groups pinned in our announcements. So I have them here in the comments in case you want them right now, but they're also found in our pinned announcements. A reminder that when we have important information that contains links, the best place to always find it is in pinned announcements to make sure you're on the accurate links.
Yeah, 100%. So again, I mean, I want to go over some bullish updates too while we're here, and then LA, if there's anything else you want me to cover, let me know. But just in about 48 hours, we have nearly 700,000 TVL already, and that is so bullish because it shows that there's real product market fit for the vaults, and that people were dying to get back in, and our own treasury is now working again, and although we did take a hit, we said we still have funds, and now they're back to work, which again should be bullish for EMP and PEG and everything with Fusion. And we're adding more and more vaults by the minute as well. So already up to 56. You can actually also go to this button, farm request, and you can literally paste your create a proposal. You literally just paste the deck screener link right here and hit create proposal, and that will add it to the queue. So as you can see, we have a bunch of aerodrome vaults on base that are coming. Obviously, we would love to start getting Arbitrum and other chains up, but that will have to wait. Right now, the priority is getting Sonic and base up. So, but a lot more vaults will be coming as well. I'm excited for this one, the BTC ETH pair on Aerodrome. So yeah, lots of stuff coming. And yeah, I mean, another cool update. One more thing. Well, actually, 2 more things. All right, with vaults as well now. And this was here before we had the issues, but we have a leaderboard now, so a lot of you can see at a glance what vaults are popular, what ones are the most TVL, what ones are paying the highest daily APR. So this is a great way to look at where to put your funds depending on your risk appetite and what you want exposure to. But that's really cool. Makes it a little bit easier to get involved. And then one last thing. Uh, Obviously, we have our ETFs. Those have been live since day one, but now we've also made it to where you can take profit into a single token. So this is a great example right here. So rather than going into the ETF, you can now take profit in actual ETH. So you will get wrapped ETH, the actual wrapped ETH token, as the reward rather than having to burn your ETF. So that's another really big improvement with the reboot. A lot of people were asking for that. So and we'll have a full fireside chat again. We've been working on that. We've been waiting for a little more updates on tracking the actual exploit wallets, as well as what we've done and what we're updating, and having the Treasury Bonds ready again. So we'll do a full fireside chat with the vaults only, with Jake, um, hopefully within the next week. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to depth and major detail on all the new updates with all this. But
Amazing.
yeah, right, Ellie? Anything else you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to go over the security features one more time, just in case anyone who's listening missed them. I think this is obviously a really important part of the conversation, because if you're going to go back into the vault, you want to ensure that your funds are safe. So I just want
Totally.
to cover the announcement of the safety features once again, just so that everyone's really clear on what upgrades have actually been made. So the
Yeah.
new
Go ahead.
contracts are fully open sourced and verified to encourage public scrutiny. Primary adjustments include the addition of roles that limit the ability for any single user to access functions of any of the core contracts. In conjunction with role limitations, we've hard coded a multi-sig contract that requires a minimum of 3 signatures for any potential changes to take effect. The processes for the signers, including cold storage keys, have also been put into place, making any future exploit in this fashion near impossible. We've completely rebuilt our cloud servers from the ground up, greatly limiting access to only absolutely essential personnel, with additional fail-safe measures to quickly revoke access if needed, and ensure that any new code pushed to the server is thoroughly reviewed by our internal team before being allowed on production. The new contracts will be connected to our front end, starting with Sonic and Base, which obviously we've just done, and additional chains coming in the near future. All current vaults, as we kind of went over, are being moved to the legacy domain and will need to be migrated. We've gone over that. In order to verify our work and further ensure investor confidence, we've contracted Zelic to conduct an audit, which we mentioned will be publishing in the coming days. And they're doing an in-depth review of our operational security and infrastructure. With a background in real-world offensive security research, Zelic is a perfect fit for us in this current stage of development. And Zelic also owns code for Arena and will be helping us navigate a white hat, can never say this, a white hat hack competition once
Yeah.
the primary audit is complete, to stress test our entire system. I don't see it in this announcement, but I remember you mentioning last week as well that anytime any changes get made to the contract, it takes 24 hours. And like we said in this announcement, it has to be reviewed by 3 people and have 3 signatures for any potential changes to take effect. So
Totally.
that in itself has eliminated the possibility of anything happening in the same fashion as last time. And the security measures have been extremely beefed up.
Yeah, no, that was perfect, LA. Again, that's a great overview. To elaborate on what you said a little bit more, yeah, I mean, the attack vector from last time was an infiltration through their cloud server, and then private keys were exposed, even though they were encrypted, and then they were able to inject new code into the smart contracts. So, number one, from all of our original smart contracts, there wasn't an issue with those smart contracts. The issue was being able to edit those smart contracts. So again, it wasn't, and that was another thing people kept asking. If we spent all this money on audits, why didn't they catch that? It's because the code was amazing. There wasn't an issue with the code. It was the editing of the code. So to your point, LA, now not only is it on a 3-person multi-sig, but there's also a 24-hour time lock. So even if somebody does, somehow manage to fish more than all three signers, the code doesn't actually take effect for about 24 hours. So we would be able to see, hey, there's a change pending that we didn't make, and then be able to intercept that. So there's literally no way that somebody can infiltrate the way they did in the past. And again, nothing is guaranteed in crypto, but we feel really, really safe now. And another layer of security is, which I was going to show here, um, you're always more than welcome to create your own private vault as well. So, even the original exploit, the private vaults were unaffected. So if you go to create a vault, you can pick any of the vaults that you want. Just do this first one. Again, this is where you can change your profit token. If you guys don't want to have the profit in the ETF, you can just go right to an actual blue chip. So we'll select stables, and then you can just choose that whatever 50%. Then create vault, and then what will happen is it will create a vault. You just don't publish it, so you can add funds to it. You can interact with it, do whatever you want to do. Just don't publish, and then it's a private vault. That means that only you have access to that vault. But again, we don't see any security issues, but if you prefer to do that, you can. So, all right, awesome. Yeah, I'm super bullish for this. And then we also want to talk a little bit about bonds, right, LA? What's next?
Yeah, we want to talk about what's next in the ecosystem. So,
Awesome. Okay.
yeah, now that revenue is flowing again, we can restart gDex emissions and Fusion rewards / peg support and begin compensation efforts. Development is underway on both counts, and we'll have additional updates very soon. We'll also be offering bonds, which I think you'll go over for us, AJ, right?
Yeah, 100%. So let me actually open it up here. Uh, Bear with me. I think I shared this last week, but I'll share it again. 1 second. All right, one moment here. All right, LA, are you able to see that? And the rest of the audience, hopefully. Okay.
Yes.
So this will be the next rollout. So, we were saying about 24 hours after Vaults went live, we'd have Treasury Bonds ready. We are just doing some final tweaking. So hopefully, early next week or even this weekend, they'll be ready. But what this does really helps us jumpstart the recovery process. So these will be called Treasury Bonds, and there'll be a way to buy them. Again, some of these numbers may change as well, but the whole idea is Ethereum in, you will be able to buy a bond depending on US dollar value, but calculated in ETH. Then that gets you a share of the overall Treasury bond wallet. And the wallet will actually be doxed. So you'll be able to see what pools we're in, what vaults we're in, no black box, no smoke and mirrors, fully transparent, and depending on what that wallet earns, you earn a split of that. So not only again do you keep your principal amount, if the overall wallet balance increases, then you get back more. Obviously, we see another dip in the short term. Your bonds might be less, but you're earning yield the whole time. So this is a way to do a few things. Number one, help us recover without asking for a donation or a handout. Obviously, we would never do that. Number two, it gets more TVL into the vaults. Number three, a lot of you are a little overwhelmed by the vaults, but love the idea of earning, through LP providing. This is the easy button. So literally, all you do is buy a bond, you sit back and you collect. And last but not least, if you were affected by the hack or any of the issues that we have had, this will help get you paid back even quicker. So if you do have extra funds, it is a good idea to buy these to help with the process. So it'll be a 50-50 split between what you earn from the vaults and the compensation fund. And then once everybody's made whole, then those percentages will adjust to be about 80% probably in your favor for the yield. So this is just a really great way to get some working capital together, help us recover our treasuries, and add to our treasuries, and obviously number one, make all of you whole along the way. So and you get exposure to the price appreciation. So another really cool thing is, like I said, you're buying right now, say for zero point 0.2 ETH. If ETH, well, not if, but when ETH goes to $4,000, then the dollar value of all the LP positions would theoretically double. On the ETH pairs. So again, it's a great way to get exposure, and it's very very similar to our original EMP Treasury bonds. It's just not a guaranteed percentage, but realistically, it may be a lot more. I mean, those bonds were about 60% APR. This is variable, so we're not guaranteeing anything, but it could easily be 200% APR if we see a bull run, by the end of the year. So and they'll be able to cash out anytime, no lockup whatsoever. You can redeem your bonds, and then we just pay it out from the queue of those that want to redeem. So and again, all of it's on chain, fully transparent. This TVL up here, you'll be able to hit that button right there, and it'll take you right to the DBank profile of the wallet itself. So really exciting stuff. I've never seen any other protocol actually show the wallet that they use to generate the yields. So that alone, I think, is going to be really, really bullish. So does that help explain, LA?
Yeah, that's so powerful. And if you guys have any questions, definitely make sure to type them in the chat so we can get at them. But I think obviously with the heightened security measures of the new vaults and already having quite significant TVL, and then the addition of these bonds, we're really on track to get the ecosystem really up and firing again.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Again, I think people got really worried and scared. Obviously, sentiment has been, a bit down. We're purposely, and we've been transparent about this. People can be pissed, but it is what it is, honestly. I mean, we're purposely controlling the liquidity so that we do have a protocol, and, we're not giving everybody exit liquidity, and then there is no more EMP at all. And, we're encouraging you to do what has always been the plan. If you do want to exit from the ecosystem, sacrifice your EMP and list your microgrid for sale. That is a way to exit without ever hurting the chart whatsoever. So all of this is part of the major, full game plan. And honestly, between Treasury Bonds and the full Vault reboot, along with some other projects that we have in the works and the game Universe Madness. I mean, in a couple more months, we could be seeing a totally different landscape than what we have right now. And then those that have been selling for major price impact and letting their emotions get the best of them will be very, very sad, because it's been a long road. I mean, I get it. We've been at this now for 3 years plus, and obviously we all want to make money. It's just we've been hit with a lot of bad luck as well. But rather than disappearing and giving up, we're still here building. So that is the only thing that we can guarantee, is that we're not gonna go away. So all right, awesome.
Yeah.
What else, Ellie?
So we spoke about the recovery fund. Now Fusion. So what does this all mean for Fusion, AJ?
Yeah, 100%. So I touched on it a little bit just then, but again, we now that we are in the vault's up and running again, that what we do have in the treasury can start earning again, and we can really start the flywheel all over again. So what happens is, any of the yield that we get through the treasury will be used to help support um, peg recovery. We have a three-step process. Yes, returns through Fusion will be low until we're at peg. But again, we've been fully transparent about that. Right now, everything is going into, providing, support in peg recovery. That's buying EMP off the market and, helping the peg go up. And then once we're at peg, we will be able to implement the liquidity that everybody, is wanting. And we're able to do a few other cool things like a peg stability bot that will also help generate more revenue for us. And then that's when the yield and Fusion really starts to ramp up. Then we get to phase two, which is the rather than funds going to support the price of EMP, because we'll be at peg, we're able to actually buy and burn my, microgrids. So once that happens, even with the same amount of funds feeding rewards in Fusion, the less microgrids that are out there, the more you get as an individual. So it's a way to automatically increase APR with the same amount of rewards going in. So that is really, really powerful. And again, those that don't want to be here anymore can exit, and that only lets everybody else that's here earn more from the ecosystem. So I'm really excited for that. And then last but not least is what we call our Nirvana, where there is no more EMP in existence. You only can get into Fusion through buying somebody else's microgrid. And if no one's willing to sell their microgrids, then we could see very expensive EMP above and beyond peg price at that point. Um, and that's when eShare will really get all the love, because it's the only token in the ecosystem, and will be getting all the percentages from the volume that we do through microgrids. Because remember, eShare is the currency of buying and selling microgrids. So all that is really, really bullish. Again, I mean, all we can do as a protocol is build something that is bulletproof and that has very solid economics. But at the end of the day, we still need the support from the community. And no matter what we build, if there's more people trying to sell than buy, then that is a very hard hill to overcome. Now, if nobody buys or sells, period, and just holds, the ecosystem will recover on its own. So we don't need new capital. But if people are just exiting, then it slows that whole process. So hopefully that makes sense, LA. Again, you do a great job of simplifying it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember right now, let's see, let me refresh my Fusion Watch page. There's a few amazing options right now and ways to support both yourself and your own position and the community. And we do very much want to do a big marketing push. We have that carved out and planned already. We do want to do everything in our power to help increase the price of EMP and eShare, to get back to peg, to then carry out this second wave of marketing, to do the activities that encourage higher APRs within Fusion. We can't do that alone as a team, though. And I think we had a small discussion about this in the group today, but it is clearly proven across crypto, not just in our community, but those who take action at the times when other people are sitting around and waiting on the sidelines are the ones who always get the farthest. There's a few options for that right now. There is a 2.81% peg bonus, which of course is not as high as it was when we first launched Fusion, but is back up above 2, which is quite extraordinary and very likely will not go much higher in the future because we're going in the right direction towards peg. Another option is I actually am blown away. It seems like a couple people in the marketplace are just absolutely desperate to sell part of their microgrids, but the deals inside the marketplace are insane today, or in general. I haven't been checking it every day, but there's multiple options to grow your personal position. One, so that you're not getting diluted when other people do. Two, so we can get back to winning or achieving our community challenges and having those prizes back, which is amazing. That is not so much for marketplace buys, but more so for EMP deposits into Fusion. But anything that we can do as individuals to increase our own positions. You've seen, I'm sure, when ETH has gone up by almost 20% today, that your microgrid value is massively up. And that's just a sign for the future of what this can all hold, especially when we get back to peg. And so it's so important for us to all do what we can right now and work together, because the sooner we get to peg and the more we work together right now, the sooner we can all be making great money. So I want to encourage you to ask yourself, not, oh, what can I complain about because this is taking longer than I want it to? No, what can I do to personally help? Because if each of us have that mentality, then we're going to get to where we want to be extremely quickly. But if we don't and we just sit around on the sidelines, then it could take forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, I couldn't have said it better. And I get it. Like, a lot of you are tapped out. A lot of you have been with us from the very beginning. I understand all of that fully. But again, selling into, low liquidity, creating the FUD, creating, not having a mindset of, patience. And again, I know 3 years, but in crypto, the fact that we're even still here is amazing. I mean, again, 99% of projects just have a total loss and that's it. And you never hear from them again. So just please keep things in perspective. And if you are tapped out and you are frustrated, the best thing you can do is just walk away in the short term, meaning go outside, touch grass. Don't look at the EMP chart every 5 minutes, and just give the system time to actually start. Again, we call it the flywheel, but that just means the system actually being able to sustain itself. And again, all the math and all the economics point to that. I mean, you can see in the chart, all of that was happening. Peg was going up very nicely, over time. And so, again, just if you are wanting to exit, please do it in the correct manner through sacrificing and then listing your microgrid. And yeah, it may take a while to sell, but it is what it is. It'll be maybe quicker depending on what you list it for. If you are impatient and have had enough and need to exit. But that brings up one other thing. I know we'll get to questions here in a minute, but uh, Neil says maybe the reason that I'm paraphrasing here, but the reason that sacrifices have maybe slowed down a bit is because there are such good deals on the marketplace. And yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why the Treasury hasn't stepped in quite yet, is because we want all of you that are believers and may be in a position to buy more to get some amazing deals. So, but that won't last forever. And again, once we finally get things re-rolling and rebooted again, the Treasury will absolutely be sweeping the floor on microgrids. And spoiler alert, we actually may have a competition in the works for microgrid purchases as well. So we're working on a lot of really cool things to get the momentum going again. And again, letting the system do what it's designed to do. So cool. All right. What else? Oh, one
Awesome.
last thing. LA. This was again. I won't steal your thunder, but we have a cool announcement for next week. Right? Go ahead.
Woo. Yeah,
Bless you.
I will be at Consensus next week. So I think we're gonna have a special guest on the AMA with AJ next week. But I will be at Consensus. It's happening in Toronto this year. And if you're planning on going, definitely reach out to me and we'll have an Emperor meetup. I know I've definitely chatted with one or two Emperors who are going to be there, which I'm really looking forward to. So if you're going to be there, let me know. But I'll be there representing all of our projects and looking to make new connections.
I love it. Yeah. So again, we have the tradition of consensus. We do at least one conference a year, and consensus has usually been the one. As a lot of you know, I have a little harder time traveling, and with the whole family now, LA does the dirty work. But there is a lot of really great opportunities. Again, not only for EMP, but obviously, DexFi and Honor vs Madness. LA will be there making a ton of connections. And the timing couldn't be better. I mean, with the market starting to rally again, people getting excited, DeFi getting, warming up again, and then ultimately, hopefully, GameFi warming up as well. So really excited for that. And yeah, we still would love to do, an in-person conference for all of EMP and all of our emperors. That is definitely still something that we would love to do, and I know it's been a long time now, but maybe when the real bull run hits later this year, October timeframe, we can look at maybe doing an emperor meetup in I know Vegas or Miami, somewhere that is a little easier for me to get to for sure. So all right, awesome. LA, any other questions before we wrap it up? I think we have a few. While you look, I have one from Grover. Let me go back. Yeah, this was in regards to the legacy vaults. So if you do have any issues, you can open a ticket on Discord or get with Grover in our socials. Please remember, don't respond to scammers. There's a lot of Grover impersonators. So just be super careful. We'll never ask you for your seed phrase or to connect to any other site, but we're more than happy to help in any of the socials for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Grover. We do have, oh, yeah, we can do these ones here. And then we have one on Discord we can do at the end.
All right, sorry. Yep, perfect. I was just going through here. I didn't mean to kill you at the end, but yeah, let's go through. We'll go through all YouTube and X first. So if you do have a question, please feel free to type it on YouTube or X. As far as gDex, yes. So you will want to withdraw your gDex right now. Make sure that you do an asset withdrawal on gDex. Don't just do a sell because if you're not doing an asset withdrawal, it will show up as a sell on gDex. So, but yeah, gDex in your wallet, and then now that the vaults are rebooted, we'll have another gDex vault that will be eligible for emissions or rewards from that particular vault. So again, just bear with us. That is a good question to keep an eye out for in the DexFi Discord as well. But yeah, for now, just keep the gDex that you do have in your wallet. All right. Hey Simon, yep, this is a good question. So I don't know, I always lose track of all the income streams, but it's a lot. I mean, again, obviously the treasury is the biggest one right now. We'll have dexSwap adding as we continue to grow on that front. We have all of our affiliates. We have uh, our other protocols again. Spark and the SparkSwap bridge have been temporarily paused until we get all of this back on track. But I mean, again, I think in total there's probably 8 or now maybe closer to 10 different revenue streams somewhere in there. LA, does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we have, when our bridge is back up and running, we have 2 new projects in the works. We have some, maybe you can touch on the stuff you have going on with the hedge funds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
we have all of our affiliate commissions. Obviously, the vaults are a big one now that they're back up and running. We have all of our sister projects. So there's quite a lot in the works. We did have a whole list. I was looking for it right now, but I can't seem to find it. I'll have to keep looking.
All right, yeah, we'll post it again on our socials. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we have relationships with hedge funds. They're in the same boat we are, just waiting for some more certainty in the markets, and we have ways for them to earn. We have white label services through the vaults.
I mean,
Obviously,
what
Treasury
I meant
Bonds.
was there was like 2 on our list. There was 2 things that
Oh
were
yeah, us acting as a hedge fund, maybe is what you mean, like
like there were 2
VC
things.
deals.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So apologies. So yeah, I mean that is also something that we prepared for. I mean, back in the depths of the bear market, we had a lot of opportunities come across our desk. So we have a substantial amount in some actual new projects that are coming out. One of them is an AI play called Overlay. That's still looking promising. We have another AI play that is a little more meme oriented. So yeah, we have about actually we probably have more like 3 or 4 different investments that the Treasury has made into protocols that we'll be doing at TGE this summer. They were just waiting for the market to recover and to show a little more signs of life before doing the TGE. So yeah, and I mean if one of those does even a 10x, which was very realistic. I mean that all that will help speed up the process and go right into fusion recovery and rewards for sure.
Love it. Awesome. Were there any more in the comments here before we move to Discord?
Yeah, I think that's about it on YouTube. Let me double check. Yep, I think that was everything.
Okay, cool. There's a couple on Discord. The first one is less of a question and more of just getting stuff off of his mind. So I'm just going to paraphrase it because it's very long.
Okay, totally.
Basically, there's some frustration over calling the legacy contracts a game, and specifically the NFTs, and that we're saying that it's a gift that we're doing this crediting, and they're just disappointed in the 150 sacrifice points. They don't feel that it's a fair amount to credit the NFTs.
Yeah, all right. So I'll start at the beginning there. So, I mean, you can go back into literally a year and a half of AMAs, and literally every single AMA, our terms of services, our terms of service on the website, everything we refer to detonator and all the legacy contracts as financial games. I mean, everything. I mean, we never once said EMP was a bank, a savings account, any financial, classification, specifically saying that it's not a certificate of deposit or anything of the like. I mean, this is, decentralized finance. And, one thing I forgot to bring up is Richard Hart. I mean, again, love him or hate him, he won a tremendously industry defining result with the recent case he just had. And now there is a legal precedence that code is freedom of speech. And through that, it is protected. He won against the SEC. It wasn't a settlement, it was a flat out, victory. And now there is a legal precedence that, again, the money isn't going in my pocket, it's not going in LA's pocket. It is a decentralized finance protocol simply determined based on code. And again, I mean, there are winners and there are losers. So I get that people are frustrated, but that is no fault of our own. And it is what it is. People just can't have unlimited money out of nowhere. And if that was your expectation, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is not how the whole system works.
Yeah,
So
and I want
yeah,
to chime in too. The reason that we're saying that this is a gift is because and when I describe this, the NFTs are an extension of this because one, you've been able to sell your NFT at any point along the way if you were not happy with the rewards that we're paying out. But two, they every cent of those funds that came in for the NFT purchases were put into Detonator and Reactor. And that was the way they were marketed and promoted. And that was very clear out of the beginning. But the way that the Detonator style contracts work was also very clear from the beginning, not only in our documentation, but in every single AMA and the disclaimers on the AMAs and in the documentation. And the reason we're saying that it's a gift that we're doing this crediting is because all of the funds from those legacy contracts were claimed into the individual users' wallets. Not one single penny of them ever went to us. And the truth is, a lot of this work that we do here, the tireless hours, is completely with, for free because we love this community. We have our own personal bags in the community and we want to see them do well. But when the pool balances in these legacy contracts went down, it wasn't because it was going to the protocol or to the team. It went into the individual users' wallets. So this money that we're crediting is completely above and beyond and separate from anything that was contained in the pool balance because that went into the individual users' wallets. And the reason that those contracts are being retired is because more people claimed than compounded and the pool balances went down, but those claims went somewhere. And where they went was into individual users' wallets. And so the fact that we are crediting is a gift because I can't tell you how many other ROI contracts are launched, have millions of dollars in them, and then before you've even had a chance to even recover a third of your deposit, it's done. You never hear from it again and it's over. And that was my first experience in DeFi. I invested into another project at the same time as EMP. They were my first two projects. This ROI contract had over $100 million in it. And I locked my funds for 6 weeks. By the time the 6 weeks were done, that contract was empty. And that's because the individual users were claiming more than they were compounding. They drained the contract. It wasn't built sustainably and it was over. Did they do any crediting? Did the project remain? No, they put it on pause for 4 months and then it still didn't succeed. So the fact that we're here 3 years later, that in spite of the users not, and when I say the users, I don't mean every single one of you because a lot of you compounded for years, but the fact is the majority of the users claimed more than compounded in that final year. And that was the source of draining the pool balance funds. So the fact that we are crediting this is a gift because we absolutely do not have to do that. And if we look towards the rest of DeFi as any example, we shouldn't be doing it. But we decide to do things very differently because we consider EMP a family and we love you guys and we love that you're all still here and still a part of it. And we want to do everything in our power for this to succeed and for us to reach that utopia that we described where all of the EMP in existence is inside Fusion and we're all earning and we can pass this down to other generations. And so we're working very hard to achieve that in spite of all of the hurdles that we've had to jump over. So I hope that helps clarify things.
I love it, LA. Again, so well put. I get a little saucy, so it was good to have you recap that. And everything LA said is 100% true. I mean, again, all of the funds within Detonator Reactor were actual EMP or eShare LP, and anybody can buy or sell into that EMP or that LP. And honestly, it's what made the protocol successful as it was. I mean, without Detonator Reactor, we would have never had the longevity that we've had. And honestly, more people probably would have lost because it would have been game over. We wouldn't have been able to design, the new fusion economics. uh, in time, and there would be a lot more losers in this situation than there are now. So again, please put things into perspective. Please take some personal responsibility. I know people don't want to hear that, and but at the end of the day, nobody pressed the buttons but you. And I don't say that to be an asshole. I say that to show that this is what crypto is. I mean, again, some people overinvest, some people don't do their research, but that is not any fault of ours. And I do feel bad. Obviously, I don't want people to lose, but I also am not going to be held responsible for something that isn't our fault. So hopefully that really kind of clears it up. We seem to be talking about it every AMA, and it is truly a gift because, like I said, the money didn't even go in the treasury; it went into the actual game itself through the LP. So again, it's not what we do give as credit; it's from the EMP reserves that we have now because of the migration and moving to the model of fusion. This is all EMP that we earned from fees and the boardroom, while we were actually printing. And obviously, we would never sell that on the market. So this is a way that we can still give credit that is backed by EMP and allow people to then again choose to stay here or choose to leave. So, all right, I hope that finally clears it up. I don't know how to be more clear. Again, everything LA and I just said, I think gives you a full perspective of where we're at. So, all right, awesome. I do have one more question I didn't see. Was there anything else you want me to elaborate on with that, LA?
Yeah, there's one more from Discord actually. What do the letters EMP stand for? Who is Jake? Is he doxed? I never see him in the chat.
Yeah, I love this. So, it sounds like maybe a newcomer. So welcome, or maybe you have been here. You just
No, he's
didn't
been
know.
around, but I love the curiosity.
Yeah, totally. So, EMP stands for electromagnetic pulse, or a basically an electromagnetic bomb. And for those that know the history, we were a fork of Tomb, which there was another fork of Tomb on Binance Smart Chain called Money, and we said, and they were pegged to Bitcoin. They did not succeed. But even though again, we said let's peg the ETH because we think ETH can do better over the next 3 years. Funny how that kind of all happened, but that being said, that was it. Instead of a bomb, we wanted to be an electromagnetic bomb or a better bomb, and that's how EMP kind of came as a name. Yeah. So and then Drake, yeah. So um, there are actually two Jakes. The first Jake is our original developer with EMP. He is not publicly doxed, but he is to us. And then there is also Jake, the CEO of Dex Finance, and he is doxed. So again, not necessarily publicly, but he does have accredited through Spy Wolf, I believe it is. It's on the Dex website. One of the auditing firms, has all his information. If it were to be an issue, but yeah. So again, I'm probably one of the only people in the space that is publicly doxed. And again, I have nothing to hide, so I felt like that was appropriate. I question that every day with the amount of hate I get, but here we are. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers the running joke is you have to be Jake to be part of EMP or the EMP franchise. So all of our devs.
I'm the only non-Jake.
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm a honorary Jake.
Exactly.
So yeah, LA is not. So yeah.
Okay, I see a couple more in the chat. A fat mouse is asking, is the flywheel for Mo Money back in action with vaults?
Yes, I love this question. So, hey, Fat Mouse. Yes, I didn't even I forgot to go over this. So, yes, now that the vaults are back up, the flywheel for more money is back in action. We were able to earn a little bit in the meantime. We were part of the OG Web Chef ecosystem. We were earning passively on Pulse without the vaults. But yeah, I mean, we're moving money over there as we speak. So that will start earning. And for those that don't know, the flywheel for Mo is part of the taxes that we get on the token. They are bridged out of Pulse, which again people go, well, what the hell you're bridging out? But what happens is we're able to generate more yield outside, bringing TVL from Ethereum or Base and Sonic back into Pulse, and so we are able to earn, you know, on those funds, and then buy and burn Mo with those funds indefinitely. So it's a really, really cool flywheel. And now that the vaults are back, we should really start seeing that ramp up on the Mo side for sure.
Awesome. And then
Cool.
here's another one. Why do we limit EMP accessibility?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we do. I think that it's mainly about knowing the right ways to get EMP. There's still plenty of liquidity to the upside. Again, you may have to buy $100 of EMP or less at a time, but eventually, when you get back into range, there's no slippage hardly at all on buying EMP. And again, I mentioned it earlier in the AMA, but the sell the sell side liquidity or exit liquidity is purposely managed while we are in a recovery mode. Obviously, we'll be adding more and more LP as we get closer to peg. And if you want to sell your EMP, you do it through Fusion. So again, we're not handcuffing anybody. We're not limiting accessibility. Again, whatever you want to call it, you just have to go through the right channels that the protocol was built to do and to work. So again, selling your microgrid through Fusion has zero selling pressure on the chart. So and again, you may have to wait a couple of weeks for liquidity, but it is what it is. I mean, that is the price you pay to have a sustainable ecosystem that doesn't go to zero overnight. So, and we will again start ramping up now that vaults are back up and running. We will start ramping up the sweeping of the floor on microgrid. So, that liquidity is there from the treasury when we buy and burn the microgrids as well. But it won't be instantaneous unless maybe you sell at a big enough discount that somebody does buy it, one of the other users. So, and again, that's going to be few and far between as we start recovering.
Yeah. Also, it's not that we don't want new users. We do plan to do a huge marketing push when we're back to peg, because when it goes through marketing, you want to catch specific moments to draw attention to. And this will be a huge story within DeFi. And that's why we're working so hard to encourage the community to help us get back to peg while we do everything in our power, because we do want to carry out a huge marketing push. We do want to do everything necessary to bring in new users. Fusion was designed to be able to sustain and pay out users without new users entering the protocol. But of course, we want to share the magic of Fusion with the world and promote all of our projects. But we have to do it in the right way at the right moments. And when we're reaching peg, that is the perfect moment to go absolutely ham on marketing.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. So, and again, I mean, it is a fine balance of, what you want to hear and what is actually happening. The other side of the coin is we just put all the treasury, into liquidity. Everybody's free to buy and sell. We have no way of creating external revenue, and everybody ends up selling it to zero, and it's game over for everybody else. So that isn't an outcome that I would like to see. So we are doing what we can to avoid that. And again, it's not, you can't have the best of both worlds. So if that is seen as limiting accessibility for the greater good of the protocol so that everybody doesn't wake up and it's at zero, then that is just something that we have to do. I mean, again, I don't, in my eyes, there's no argument here. But again, once things, I think all this comes to light when, people feel like they're missing out, or the opportunity cost of being in EMP instead of somewhere else. But again, all that is healed with patience, because we have everything in place to continue to recover peg, to push EMP at peg value, which is still another, double from here, even with EMP being, with ETH being where it is. Not to mention if ETH goes to $4,000. So again, there's just so much upside potential. People just have to have the patience. And I get it. Some people don't want to have the patience, but that's not a protocol issue. That's a personal issue.
Okay, so I want to go back to Stu's question because I am understanding more what he's getting at with it based on the conversation, the VIP the other day. But
Okay.
we don't always remember conversations specifically like I am right now. So please be more clear about your questions in the actual comments if you want us to address them. Can you explain why EMP is currently only available for purchase on dexSwap? What is the goal behind that, and why it won't serve us to spread out the liquidity in a bunch more places at this very moment?
Yeah, okay, that is a very good question. And again, like you said, LA, it really helps to have context. So that is a strategic move from us as a protocol. So the short answer is the reason that EMP is available on dexSwap, and that's where the majority of the liquidity is because we get fees for for swapping on dexSwap. So the whole idea is that we get some extra fees, and those fees don't go to us. Those fees go to all of you. So again, part of those fees are buying and burning EMP and helping it go up, or buying EMP and putting it in the treasury. So that is a way that we can help. And at scale, again, right now it's not a lot because there's only a couple of $100,000 in liquidity, or in TVL overall. But if we can scale dexSwap, which we're in the process of doing, I mean, that could be literally thousands of dollars a day in fees that we as a protocol get to help the ecosystem, rather than going to PancakeSwap. So on the other hand, we could have LP on PancakeSwap, and we would get the majority of the fees because we're doing concentrated liquidity providing. But a lot of the fees would be going to PancakeSwap, and all they do is sell EMP, or ETH, whatever asset they get. So that alone is the reason that we do that. And in terms of users, I think that it isn't a big a deal as people think, because usually where you find a token is on Dex Screener, and if you're on Dex Tools or Dex Screener, you will know where the liquidity is. On Dex Screener specifically, you can buy and sell EMP right on Dex Screener, and all of our contract addresses are posted. Anybody that does try to buy or sell EMP, we tell them where to go. So again, I don't think it's as big of a hurdle as it sounds, and it is a lot more beneficial to us because we get more fees. And it goes even deeper than that, but integrating the vaults with our own DEX, now we're earning twice on that, rather than giving again half or whatever it might be to Pancake or somewhere else. So yeah, hopefully that explains that reasoning for sure.
Awesome. That was helpful. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. I think that looks like it. I answered some more in the comments.
Cool. All right.
Shout out. I see Hot Llama in the crowd. Shout out to Hot Llama. I was just remembering the other day, I don't know why it popped into my head, but Hot Llama joined the first crypto conference I ever went to, which was more of a gaming conference for Splinterlands, but he won a free ticket, and this man joined me at my table for I think 2 full days and helped me. Totally did not have to do it. Sweetest, kindest person, and just a true emperor in and out.
Yeah, shout out to Hot Llama. I know he's been super busy. He's had to do a bunch of work, and we've been in touch a little bit. But one of our pillars in our community even has one of our original NFTs designed after him. So yeah, shout out to him, and good to see you, brother. Again, popping in when and where he can. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a lot more of you now that things are starting to recover. I think what ETH, I just saw ETH is over 2,200 now. It's just absolutely flying, even during this AMA. So
Awesome.
cool. All right. All right. Awesome. I think that's everything. Yeah, here. It's from, yeah, 2,200. Yeah. All right. Any final words, LA, as we wrap it up?
Yeah, I get that some of you love to love us and some of you love to hate us, but just keep in mind that we are human beings with real human emotions, and we are working our asses off and trying so incredibly hard, not only physically, but the fact that we've kept such a positive attitude and we don't ever let anything keep us down, and we keep fighting. And we're doing that because we love all you guys. Like, if it was just for us, we would have quit a long time ago. But because we love all of you so much, like, it is such an inspiration to keep pushing. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, we are trying so incredibly hard, and we're doing everything in our power to not only get back to where we were and the progress we were making, but to go far beyond it. And so the more that any of you guys can do to help support that, the better. And it's your kind words and your encouragement and support that actually push us to keep going. And so we love you guys a lot. I always love being here on these AMAs. I'll miss you next week, but I'll be representing all of us and spreading the word about our amazing projects. And I'll look forward to seeing you when I get back.
Amazing. Yes, LA, we're gonna miss you. Again, we'll have a special guest next week. And then we may have to skip an AMA the following week, but we'll give you more info on that. But yeah, LA, I couldn't have said it more. I mean, we're not here because it's self-serving. We're here because of all of you. And I make this joke a lot, but it's really true. And that is, everybody wants to be a project founder until they are one. And it is the most thankless job on the planet. People are always pissed, and some people are always really happy and say amazing things. And those are the people that keep us going through all this. And it's very mentally draining, and difficult. I mean, we're absolutely not getting rich on this protocol. Other founders are. I mean, but those are the protocols that go to zero, and they sell their tokens on everybody's heads, and they're in it for themselves. We have never been that way, and we associate ourselves with people that aren't that way. Again, Dex Vaults, Dex Finance, Jake, all those guys. Anybody under the EMP franchise, puts the user first, and that is really, really a rarity in the space. And again, unfortunately, that doesn't translate into everybody can win, even with that mentality. So there will be winners and losers still, and hopefully we can have a lot more winners than losers. So just keep that in mind. Have great risk management. Take the losses that you do have as a learning experience, and continue to grow in the crypto world, because it's only going to be going up from here. Again, another really important quote is, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. And as long as you are here long enough, it's almost impossible to lose. Again, other than a rug or getting scammed, or anything like that. I mean, make sure you have some EMP, make sure you have some ETH, make sure you have some Bitcoin, make sure you have some, Sonic, whatever your convictions are. Diversify and hold for the long run. If you're here, to replace your income, and be full time crypto, that's going to be a really hard journey, to get rich overnight. It's just not a get rich quick scheme. This is just, exploring decentralized finance and putting the power into users' hands rather than big banks and, the man, so to speak. So, all right, hopefully that helps. Again, I do love you all. I know I get some attitude sometimes, but I'm only human, and sometimes it's really frustrating. But everything's looking good. I mean, vaults are back. We have plenty of working capital. We'll have more working capital with the Treasury bonds, and everybody loves a green candle. So I think once we see that translate to EMP and everything else in our ecosystem, people will be really, really excited again. And Bitcoin's over 100 grand. There is no reason to be any sort of sad or uh, uh, um, non-optimistic of the future of crypto. So, all right, awesome. Thank you, LA. Have fun on your trip, and we'll give everybody an update on the connections that LA is able to meet and have. And then don't forget to join our Ownerverse Madness AMA that will be happening in about a half an hour from here. So that's over on the Ownerverse Madness live stream. So again, thank you all. We're here every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. All right. Good night. Good day. Bye bye, everyone.